Yo, what's going on, guys? We're hearing that the Toronto Raptors are not rebuilding. We all thought because they hired Darko Rajakovic is going to be a guy that was going to lead a rebuild because he was known for his player development. They said part of the reason why they fired Nick Nurse or parted ways with Nick Nurse was due to the fact that there was the lack of player development, specifically with like Malachi Flynn and Delano Banton and Precious Achua, that they weren't able to crack the minutes. So we all thought, without reports, that they were insinuating that they brought Darko Rajakovic in to be, the coach to lead the rebuild. But Marc Stein of the Stein line has came out with a report saying the Raptors are not expected to rebuild this offseason. The Raptors view this upcoming offseason as an opportunity to retool, are not interested in a rebuild, according to Marc Stein of the Stein line Substack. The Raptors hired Darko Rajakovic as their next head coach this past weekend. Now, we do know that Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent Jr. are not expected to return to the team next season. I'm surprised about Gary Trent Jr. because he's 24, 18 points per game, scorer, two-way ability. You would just assume that he'd be interested in remaining with the franchise at the very least. But that does not seem to be the case, and it doesn't seem like the Raptors want to keep him around. But I wonder, I assume that Otto Porter, Thad Young, Chris Boucher are guys we could see on the move, as their contracts and their skill sets, they all play, the forward or the wing. Otto Porter's more of a wing, but he can be a small ball 4. Thad Young is a 4 who's a small ball 5. Chris Boucher is a tweener. He's a 4 and a 5. So for me, when I look at this current situation, I just think, all right, they've got to make some moves. They need guards. They actually need guards. What's going to go on with Pascal Siakam, who's a 2-time All-NBA player that I feel like people forget? He's on like a 5-year run of averaging like 25 points and 7 rebounds and 5 assists a game at least, with a steal and a block. They still got a good squad. You assume that you want your starting lineup. I mean, unless you're committing to Scotty Barnes at point, you assume starting lineup is going to be Jakob Poeltl, who they're going to bring back probably on a 4-year, $88 million deal, or that, I feel like that's a lot. 17 a year, I'm hearing. 18 a year. So let me take that. I did terrible math right there. A $68 to $72 million deal over 4 years. So 68 would be like $17 million a year. 72 would be like $18 million a year for Jakob Poeltl. He'll be the starting center. Pascal at power forward, OG Anunoby at small forward. You run Scotty Barnes at point. All you need now is a shooting guard. Not a bad team, to say the very least. What is your guys' thoughts right there? What the Raptors should do? As I do agree that this is an interesting situation, to say the least. As I'm a fan of the Raptors and what they've built. So I'm excited to see what new head coach Darko Rajakovic does. And I wonder, again, what will happen? Let me hear your thoughts down below in the comments.